Welcome back. After the success of their virtual town hall series on criminal justice in America, the PBS stations group WNET is now back with another very timely and relevant series. Take a look.
What has the 21st century taught us about systemic racism in the U.S.? What new visions of democracy and racial justice are needed to reclaim, revitalize, and redefine the American dream? Join thought leaders from around the country for a 5-part town hall series as we gather across communities to envision a new future.
The 5-part series examines systemic racism in relation to 5 pillars of society: voting rights, artificial intelligence and genetic data, journalism, anti-racism, and cultural narrative. The focus of the conversations revolves around strategies and solidarity, ways to make the nation's policies and culture more accountable to its democratic ideals. Joining me now to talk about all of this is Brian Tate. He's the curator for the New American Dream series, and I'm also joined by Dan Zanes, a panelist for tomorrow's episode about bringing the message of anti-racism to white communities. Thanks, guys, for joining me. Brian, I'm going to start with you. You are a community partnership specialist for WNET. That is New York's flagship PBS station. Talk to me a little bit about what the New American Dream series is.
Well, New American Dream, first of all, thanks for having us here, Mark. The New American Dream is a 5-week series of virtual town halls looking at disrupting systemic racism and envisioning the nation beyond it. And we've gathered 35 major thinkers and doers from across the country to talk about these issues, and the majority of them being women of color. And as you said, we're looking at it across several different lenses of artificial intelligence and Black journalism, white anti-racism, voting rights, and cultural narratives, with the focus on, we're looking at the world of tomorrow through the lens of history, but with a focus on the future.
It's interesting. When I hear about, a town hall or a series on racism or anti-racism, how to stop racism, I expect to hear about the media. I expect to hear about voting rights, especially given what's been going on in this country the last few years. But when you start talking about artificial intelligence and genetic stuff, I'm like, whoa, well, how is that connected? Help me. I know that's not tomorrow's episode. Tomorrow's episode is about heeding the call of white anti-racism. We're going to get to that. But just talk to me a little bit about what the genetic and AI stuff is.
Well, structural racism exists throughout the American structures and institutions. And when we talk about the worlds of artificial intelligence and talk about genetic science, it's there, as well as in education, as well as in medicine, as well as in, you pick the institution, you pick the field, you pick the industry, systemic racism is there. And when we look at things like artificial intelligence and the kinds of biased algorithms that are at play that affect people in the justice system, that affect people in hospitals, and also when we look at things like, the world of genetic science, systemic racism, structural racism is there. It needs to be exposed for what it is, and it needs to be addressed and rewired so that we can create a different future in which we don't have to deal with these things.
All right, so tomorrow's episode is about heeding the call of white anti-racism, which makes sense to me. I know, Dan, you are one of tomorrow's panelists for that. I gotta say, I was a little surprised. I know you from the music scene. You've been in the music business for 4 decades. You won a Grammy Award. You've done some work with Del Fuegos. I mean, you've done so much. How has your interest in anti-racism work sort of started?
Thank you, Mark, and thank you for having us tonight. Really grateful. I really admire your work and really appreciate being here with Brian to talk about this stuff. Yeah, you're right. I'm a musician. And about a little over 20 years ago, my oldest best friend, Mike Feldstein, explained to me in a patient, loving way the nature of systemic racism. He was working with Dr. Beverly Daniel Tatum, and she had just published the book, Why Are All the Black Kids Sitting Together in the Cafeteria? And for me, I thought it was about prejudice, and I knew I wasn't prejudiced. So I didn't think any of this really had to do with me, but I didn't understand the systems. And Mike opened my eyes, and And I started reading and I started wanting to know more. And I got angry at white people and I started telling white people what to do and how to do it. And I was on this moral high ground.
Been there.
And well, I had no success. I did nothing to dismantle racism with that approach, with talking to white people, you know. And so I would go to the few friends of color I had for validation. And, you know, and it went nowhere until I became a part of white anti-racist community and in turn co-founded something called Constructive White Conversations, in which we're really creating conditions for white people to sit and talk through this, the conditioning, you know, the way we're socialized, the beliefs that we grow up with, which for me, I can only speak for myself, and I certainly can't speak for white anti-racism, but this conditioning had prevented me from being useful and effective, and certainly it prevented me from being able to do anything to help other white people see what my friend Mike had showed me. But in Constructive White Conversations, it's a white affinity group, and we gather regularly, we sit, we talk, we work through it. And it's a way of finding humanity. It's a way of finding a sense of purpose and usefulness that I know for me, I wouldn't otherwise have.
No, that's so important. And again, it's called Constructive White Conversations. I have an abbreviated list of your, let's see here, of your group's principles on the screen. Can we pull those up? Because it really helps us understand how you're going to achieve this. We take personal inventory of how white supremacy and racism show up in our lives. We commit to interrupting our own racism and finding our sense of usefulness in dismantling white supremacy. We acknowledge that anti-racist living requires humility, vulnerability, self-reflection, and action. And we do this work to recognize the full humanity of the BIPOC and ultimately reach our own full humanity. I think what I like about this is that it doesn't allow white liberals to just pat themselves on the back. White liberals sometimes will dislocate their shoulders patting themselves on the back. They're the ones who tell you how anti-racist they are. They're the ones who whisper that they voted for Obama. You know, they're the ones who try to, you know, make you feel good about who they are, but don't necessarily do the work. Or when you attempt to hold them accountable for a mistake, an act of poor judgment, a comment that's inappropriate, a gesture or an action that's not right, they say, I'm on your side. They become defensive and they don't function as good allies. And it's not just white people. I'm sure I'm that way around gender, sexuality issues, around trans, cis issues. I mean, we all have these moments where our power blocks our ability to be good allies. But it's super important for us to get to that stage. Brian, how will tomorrow help us do that? What about the town hall will help us get to this better place? What can we expect?
Well, this is going to be a conversation with among 6 white folks who are at the front lines of responding to these issues and standing up against white supremacy. And they're all people from the music industry and fields of music like Dan. And the discussion is going to be around, how to leverage culture, how to leverage conversation to really address this issue of structural racism and forces of anti-democracy and forces of white supremacy. And, I believe that, we're all in different boats, but we're facing the same tidal wave. And everyone has a part to play. And we're really thrilled, WNET, to provide this platform for these folks to come together and talk about that.
Mm-hmm. What does action look like? You say we want to do more than talk about it. For both of you, what does action look like?
For me,
Dan,
action. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you start.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, you know what? We're gonna let the white guy go. What's the action? What's the action?
All right. For me, action looks like working with other white people. That's what I found I do. That's where I think I can be the most useful. And in this process, I've come to love white people. In our brokenness, the mental and spiritual brokenness that I believe so many of us experience. And I know that I could have lived my entire life without ever getting an understanding of systemic racism and finding a place in dismantling it if it hadn't been for my friend Mike Feldstein. So I feel a responsibility to try and pass that on. And so my work in Constructive White Conversations is part of is the big part of what action looks like for me. I believe it's different for all of us. You know, that every white person has a role to play, but we have to play a role. If we want to find our humanity and if we want to be a part of collective liberation, we have to find where we can go to be useful.
Brian, I'll give you the last word.
What does action look like? Well, I think that one of the things to do is to look at what white supremacists do not want us to do. They do not want us to come together. They want to keep us divided. So it's very important for us to gather with, gather Black folks who are always at the front lines of experiencing anti-Black racism, but to gather with Indigenous people, Asian Americans, Latinos, Arab Americans, people across all of the spectrums, including white folks who are people of conscience and are standing up to white supremacy. So tomorrow and also in our final week next week, what we'll see are deep discussions about those things with a focus on what people can do. And one of the first things that people can do, that all of us can do, is just recognize the capacity for greatness that exists within each of us, aside from issues of race or ethnicity.
That's important stuff, and I can't wait to see tomorrow's town hall to figure out exactly how you guys unpack this stuff. I want to thank you both for joining me, and best of luck at tomorrow's event.